What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, welcome to the channel. Thanks for rocking with me on another video. So I ordered new air management for my Chevy because if you guys remember, I told you the manual paddle valves that I bought the first time around were they were a dumpster fire. They were really not good. So I had to convince myself that these switches were worth the money, and it took a little while, but they finally showed up today, and let's get them unboxed. So I bought it from Aire, which, if you've been an OG in the game for a while, these used to be Little Larry's. Little Larry's has since became Aire. Came with a shirt that's actually pretty cool. I got the mounting plate and the hardware. It's kind of weird that it only mounts to 2 bolts there, but we'll get it. It'll work. Receipt, and I'm guessing instructions. Let's see. Oh shit. Sticker, because if you don't get a sticker, did you even buy parts, bro? Oh yeah, look right there. See? Directions, which we don't need because since mine's already hooked up, I'm just replacing the valve bank that's in there now. We don't need the directions. And these things are packaged up pretty damn good, actually. Oh, but let me get these things out of this wrapper here real quick. So there she is. I like that it's all independently wired for the ports and the gauges. I think that's awesome. And there is the money shot right there. See, these are pressure sensitive, so if you just want slow up, you just push it a little bit, and if you want it to just not hop, but you know, hop, you go full tilt. Let's see what else we got in here. Oh, look, plugs. See, I'm gonna need these plugs for the gauge ports, because the way mine is set up now, and I'll show you this later on, my lines that go to my bags, I put in a T, and the line from the T goes up to my gauges. So I'm just going to keep that system in place the way it is, because it works just fine. So I'm not going to change it. Realistically, all I need to do is mount the plate on the floor, mount this to said plate, and we are done. I love how this thing looks, man. It feels like it's built really solid, really well. It's all aluminum. And my favorite part about this is it's all common sized standard O-rings. So if you ever have an O-ring failure, you can just go to any hardware store, Harbor Freight, wherever, and get you a box of O-rings and fix anything that happens to this box. That's the problem I have now with the doo-doo valves I bought, is the O-rings keep getting stuck because they weren't machined out very well. And the O-rings are not something that you can just buy from a parts store. I had to have them custom made, and they still didn't work worth a shit. It worked really good for, like, I don't know, 5 or 6 cycles, and now as soon as you start introducing air to the tank, it starts airing up the right rear bag. There's no two ways about it. If you go to push down, it just starts deflating your tank. So I'm tired of taking this thing apart every time I want to take the truck for a drive. So now it's going to come out, and it's going to get put on the wall of shame and get replaced with an actual quality box. And hopefully this is the last time I have to mess with this shit, because I spent 3 years building that truck, and I've only got to put about 4 miles on it. So hopefully when I put these things in, I'll actually get to enjoy my truck. Okay, so we're getting started on putting these plugs in the gauge holes, because as I said earlier, I'm not using these ports right now. So, and this is kind of a touchy subject. Everybody has different opinions on what you're supposed to use. I use this stuff. I've had people tell me you're not supposed to use the thread paste because it doesn't seal, leaks, whatever. But honestly, this is the third vehicle, well, the third full air ride system that I've built and used this Teflon paste on, and honestly, I haven't had a problem with it. So I've never had a fitting leak, or obviously not seal all the way, whatever. So I'm just going to keep using it. When I use tape at work all the time, and that tape I've had fail on me more often than not. My first air ride system leaked because I used that, and I don't think it's because I used the tape. I think it just coincidentally leaked through the tape. But since I started using this paste, I haven't had a single leak on any of my fittings ever. So, as I said, I'm going to continue using it. All four of those are in. I'll give it a couple of minutes to kind of flash over, and then I'll wipe all this excess shit off. Let's get our battery hooked back up here. See if we can get this monster to come to life, huh? Has been started in about a month. So let's see. It's gonna be kind of noisy. Okay, it's starting to build air. I'll put you back here. About 70 or 80 pounds in my tank. This side is still completely deflated. This side has about 70 or 80 pounds in it. This is why I need to change this valve box. Had slight technical difficulties, but anyway, this is my setup before
4 bags, 4 tees, and this is my incoming line from the tank, which is now empty, I hope. Nope. It's about to be though. Wait. And we're leaning aggressively, actually. Yeah, push my damn tripod over. But now, we're empty, for sure, for sure. See how nicely these things move? They respawn, they spring back. This one, it's stuck. It's a piece of shit. I hate this valve box. That's why we're getting rid of it. So now I have to disassemble all this stuff, which I used all push locks, which is so much easier because you just push them and that's it. It's another one of these. People say don't use these because they leak. I've never had one of these leak on me, so I'm going to keep using them until I have a problem. Now I have to take these bolts out, take this box out, and we'll go in the garage and I'll show you. Basically, I'll swap all these fittings from this over to the little Aires or the air jacks. It's kind of a pain in the ass, but we're out. We're done. Well, this is out. Had some technical difficulties with the truck and with the bolts, and I burned my hand because for some stupid reason I thought the idea was to put the mounting hardware for these above my exhaust and then, you know, run the truck up to operating temperature so you can move it. Genius, right? Now, the instructions recommend routing your exhaust to the outside of the vehicle, but I just have it run through this little filter, and it seems to do all right, you know, for now. I'm sure I'll get tired of hearing the noise or it like blowing air around inside the cab or something stupid, but for now, it works all right. I gotta grab my thread sealant. Okay, now we're back. Make sure I get the right size stuff here. Oh yeah, bud. That'll do. Put a good hefty amount in these boys. Oh shit, yeah, you guys can't even see it, huh? Kind of stupid. She's bottomed out. That'll work. This is my incoming line from my tank, which I'm going to have to figure something else out for the hose, because the old system, it came out the side towards the driver's door and then pointed towards the back, because all my airlines come in underneath my seat towards the front of the seat, because I have my switch mounted right, like, so I could just reach down and pull them up between my feet. Kind of wish I would have left some spare hose down there, because I want to move the box over to the side instead of the front, because I feel like it would be more comfortable down there, but not right now. For right now, I just want to get it put back together and take it for a ride. Like I said, I built this truck over about 3 years, and it took me, I don't know, about 2 miles. Well, about 3.5 miles. And then I blew a tire, and I found out the hard way that my spare wheel hits the caliper on my disc brakes. Yeah, that was a really noisy ride home. But I need to adjust you guys a little bit here. Hold on. That's too much. Yeah, that's too much. Bear with me. Still got a learning curve for this thing here. These are my valves. I don't know if you can still find these online. They're from Aire. Don't buy these goddamn things. No matter how many people tell you or what you read on the internet, do not buy these things. These are a dumpster fire. They are absolute garbage. They look super cool. That's literally it. Like, the company that made this setup liked it so much that they didn't stamp their logo on it literally anywhere. That's how confident they were in this product. These are shit. Wish I would have known that before I spent the money on them. I don't remember how much I paid for this valve setup, but I'm 100% sure that I overpaid. Because as I said, they are shit. Clean the old thread sealant off. Get her nice and moist. I like that thread sealant. That shit's thicker than a Snickers, man. And it worked good. For me, anyway. Like I said, I've had some people tell me not to use it because it doesn't seal or whatever, but I don't care. You can shut up because it works just fine for me. Everybody has their own opinions on shit, and my opinion is this paste works just fine. Now, I do still need to invest in a filter. I have one somewhere. I need to put a filter. I put a filter on each side because I have 2 compressors feeding my tank. And I put a filter on each compressor. But I need to put a filter in between my compressor, or sorry, my air tank and my valve body, because as I said, I don't have one right now, and the money that I just spent on this switch box, I want to I don't want to take the chance of, you know, sucking in some water or some stupid shit into this very expensive switch box. And for the money, I could have gone with an electric valve setup, but I didn't want electric valves. This truck is built very simplistic, and I want to keep it that way. I mean, it was an injected 350. It was a Vortec TBI 350, and I put a carburetor on it because I just wanted a meat and potatoes hot rod. You know, it's less chances of an electronic failure And the only people that talk shit on carburetors are people that don't know how to adjust them correctly. Because I like my Edelbrock's. I don't like Holley carburetors. I haven't had one work very good. Sorry. I haven't seen one work very good or talked to very many people that enjoy them out here where I live. If you live in the city where you're not in a lot of dirt or dust or mud or, you know, they seem to work great. Or if you're building a race car that you don't need good, you know, throttle control. Holleys are fantastic race carburetors. Don't get me wrong. They have their place. It's just not in my truck. I prefer Edelbrock's because they're cheap, they're easy to work on, and they're literally everywhere. Anybody you know, any gearhead you know, more than likely has an old Edelbrock carburetor sitting on a shelf somewhere, which the carburetor that's on my truck right now, the guy that runs a junkyard here, had this Edelbrock 1406 just sitting on a shelf. Said it'd been there since he moved into the shop, or since he put the shop up. It was one of the first things he put in the shop, actually. He didn't use it. He was a fuel injection guy. Is a fuel injection guy, whatever. Gave me this carburetor. Cost me about $100 for the parts to rebuild it, and the gasket kit, and the jets, and the needles, and all that other shit to get it tuned for this altitude. The way I drive. This is the third vehicle on my property that has an Edelbrock 1406 on it. I like it. Like I said, it's a great carburetor. I wouldn't necessarily, you know, like put it in something that's high horse because I don't have something that's high horse, you know. If I was trying to build something with a lot of horsepower, it would be injected for obvious reasons. But anyway, I'm rambling. Sorry. So, I've got all 4 bags, my inside, my incoming line, my exhaust, all 4 of the gauge ports, done. Okay? Now the directions suggest your incoming port, you put about 10 or 15 drops of air tool oil inside this port. Okay, update. The hole's drilled, got the base plate mounted. Now we need to hook up the air lines and the incoming and bolt it to this base plate, and we should be done and ready to throw some air and hit some switches. So let's go left front and right front. Okay, get this thing out of the way right here. Left rear. There's the right rear. Yeah, we're gonna have to modify these a little bit, I think. So here it is, installed. Line's all cleaned up. I had to shorten both sides of this and this one for the incoming line, but let's see if we can build some air and start hitting switches. is all installed. They just barely poke out past the front of the seat. I would like to get some extenders, like the hydraulic guys, and change those stupid little buttons out, because as far in as that switch box is mounted, kind of makes it a pain. You have to reach like down and under the seat, and it's kind of a hassle. So I'm going to look for some extensions, possibly build some, I don't know yet. But all in all, the AirJack's fourplay is definitely worth the money. If you want manual valves, this is the only way to go, in my opinion. Now that the switch box is taken care of, I need to talk myself into making room for those transport wheels. I need to cut about, I don't know, 6 inches in the center of the inner fender. And for some stupid reason, I'm having a hard time talking myself into doing it. Even though those 22s look fantastic on the front end of this thing, I'm just having a hard time talking myself into cutting these fenders up. But when I do decide, you're definitely going to get to see it. I wish I would have started this channel when I started this build, because, man, I did a lot of super cool stuff on this truck that, you know, you'll never see. So I know it's there, and I can explain it to people, but that's as far as it goes. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hopefully I see you on the next one. And remember, guys, your dreams don't work unless you do.